emerge mainly after dark, the hunters set up camp just before nightfall. They have journeyed far into the jungle, but their search is not over yet. While giant tarantulas live on dry ground, several of their tree-living relatives live in the flooded forest. Orchids grow on trees, but unlike parasitic plants, they only use their host plant for support and take no nourishment from it. Few biologists have ventured this far into the Amazon forest, so many of the tarantulas which live here are unknown to science. This species has yet to be classified and named. The orchid's tangled root system provides tree-living tarantulas like this bird-eating spider with an ideal daytime retreat. Despite their name, bird-eating spiders rarely catch feathered prey. Instead, they feed mainly on insects which they hunt at night. The giant tarantula attacks a much wider and larger range of prey, but it too feeds predominantly on insects, mainly because they are more abundant than any other food. The movements of a potential victim above ground travel as vibrations along the silk threads leading to the burrow. The sensitive hairs on the spider's legs can detect the smallest quiver. Tarantulas sometimes go on the prowl, but generally they wait near their burrow entrance for potential victims to come within pouncing distance. The tarantula's technique for dining on its victim is as gruesome and leisurely as the kill was clean and swift. To avoid attracting the attention of ants and potential enemies, the giant tarantula takes its victim down its burrow. There are few animals which will risk following this spider a meter underground. The giant tarantula covers the floor of its lair with a silk mat. This helps to keep it clean and stops ants from invading the chamber. It also forms the base of a silk cocoon, which will eventually encase its victim like a mummy. The spider spins several strands at the same time, which it drapes over the locust, attaching the loose ends to the floor. As the spider injects more venom, the internal tissues rapidly break down. The tight silk shroud stops the insect's body from falling apart as it is sucked dry. Giant tarantulas keep themselves and their lairs meticulously clean to prevent contamination by fungi and bacteria and to avoid attracting scavenging ants. This shriveled pellet, all that remains of the locust, will be removed before daybreak. Under cover of darkness, the giant tarantula leaves its lair to search for more prey. It's safe to hunt for the rest of the night, as its greatest enemy is only active during the day. The Amazon jungle is home to the world's biggest snake, as well as the largest venomous spider. Both species are giants, larger-than-life monsters from the real lost world. The anaconda, which can grow to a length of 10 meters, hunts in rivers and relies on the water to support its weight. The spider needs a constant supply of water to replace body fluids partly used up by producing venom. The pierrot fear the anaconda as much as the giant tarantula. But during the rainy season, when the forest is flooded, they are forced to join the snake in its element. The men watch their step. The anaconda will not attack unless provoked. It is non-venomous, but it does have a painful bite. Deep puncture wounds can go septic with fatal consequences. The forest provides many natural remedies, but the pierrot have no antibiotics. The anaconda is one fitting denizen of this lost world. The hoatzin is another. Like a relic from the past, it shares a primitive feature with prehistoric birds. Unlike most tree-nesting birds, hoatzin chicks first leave their nest at about a week old, long before they have fledged. Most chicks would soon crash to the ground and fall victim to predators, but the hoatzin hatches with rudimentary claws on its wings. The chicks use the claws to clamber about the branches. Wing claws are also found on the pterodactyl, an unpleasant character encountered by the adventurers to the fictitious lost world. There's nothing menacing about the hoatzin. It's strictly vegetarian, feeding on fruit, flowers, and leaves. Here in the Amazon forest, the bird is surrounded by a superabundance of food. The hoatzin is superbly adapted to life in the flooded forest. The chicks can swim from a few days old, and with those wing claws, they're quite capable of clambering back up into their nests. The Amerindians occasionally collect hoatzin eggs, limiting the harvest to one from each nest, but they seldom hunt the adults. They call them stink birds.